Welcome to OWAD Today. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue unpacking lookalikes. And yesterday we talked about cloud, 云. And today it's not exactly looking the same, right? Because 云, if you remember, two horizontal lines with a kind of open triangle at the bottom. And here we have one vertical line puncture through the bottom horizontal line. And why is that associated? Well, we'll see. This, one of the meanings is at, pronounced as yu. And we know at in English is preposition, so it's an abstract thing. It doesn't represent anything we see in the real world. It's simply humans' capacity to think and to link ideas. And when we're linking them, at is one of the linkers, right? Versus when we see the traditional, it's totally different character. And it's also pronounced as yu, and it's widely used in traditional Chinese. That's by Cantonese, by people from Hong Kong, Taiwan, anything that's outside mainland China, because mainland China is where it came from, and they're the ones that did the simplification of Chinese so that the literacy level, the percentage of people who get a little bit read and writing capacity by learning simplified Chinese. That's the intention. And versus when we see like way ahead of time, this is 秦简, so it's something before Han Dynasty, which is roughly, we're in 2026 now, right? So it's roughly 2,200 years ago. One of the versions, it looks like this. And when you compare this and this, it's kind of similar, right? Except that here we have this hook at the bottom of here, versus here is a diagonal line. We straighten it and only kind of codify the diagonalness into this upward turning hook, which is, I guess, to facilitate our eyes to differentiate characters, because otherwise this looks like a gun. We talked about that one already, right? But here it's something else. We do have this pretty long, extended diagonal line here at the bottom, and we add this hook to differentiate from another character without the hook. So this at, later in Han Dynasty, which is roughly 2,000 years ago, I guess literature people back then, or dictionary compiler back then, go for a more complicated version of that. And this serve meaning a wide variety of such idea linker preposition meanings, from at to from to. It can be either from or to, or then comparing between the two, or by. So English will have so many words. Serve is a very narrow scope function to link ideas. But Chinese is just one character, yu, we can use in all kinds of situations. And I guess you can tell what a difficult time later scholars, or fun, however you want to view it, would have digging through ancient text, trying to figure out what exactly they were saying. All right. So that's about Chinese multitasking of meanings. Okay. 于人于己. So here, I guess there's another, okay, here we have for at the bottom. 于人于己, it's like for. 人 means others, even if this like two legs and being shape means human in general, but in this context, we are talking about human in terms of relative to ourselves, like beyond ourselves, the rest of them. So that's 人, general, generic, human. 于人 for man, let's say. 于己 for yourself. So 于人于己oftentimes build into argument, talking about trying to get a message across, trying to evoke sympathy from people. or to lay out the pros and cons of certain behavior and talking about, okay, for others, this would mean so and so, and for you, this would be so and trying to make sense of so that you do something rational as well as beneficial for both directions. So that's 愚人愚己. And we can almost say, if we translate it as add others, add self, almost works as well, because 愚 simply means pointing toward, right? We are addressing this toward somebody. That's like targeting. So if we look at here, this all the way ancient version, the reason why I think it's related to cloud, because cloud is two horizontal lines, right? With the bottom kind of squiggly line, however you want to stylize it, triangle or oval shape, or like a worm dangling on the hook kind of shape. However you want to do that, the cloud simply have this detachment of this floating, right? It's not touching the upper bound of the sky. So sky is a limit over there. The top line means that in this rendering. And here, this diagonal line, we can view it from first person perspective of we humans, we on the ground. We are at the very bottom of this frame. And this diagonal line, almost like our intention, our energy directed toward the upward. And of course, the second horizontal line could mean blockage, could mean resistance, could mean adversarial forces that's against you. But your intention were able to puncture through that barrier and all the way reach to the sky. So it's almost like you're so intended that, however, in between, right, the loss of, I guess, the fidelity of the intention from you, humans, to the universe, your upper bound existence, that you were able to get through that and reach all the way to the very universe out there. So this then becomes this directional thing, this at or to, either is to or from, whatever direction, or comparing. I think it can all make sense. I can make peace with this multi-character meaning, because it all comes to this intention directed at which direction. Okay, 重于泰山, here is a comparison. This than here, 重 means heavier than, 泰山 is one of the famous mountains, I guess, before tourism became a thing. It existed in books, and people who ever can afford and had the, I guess, ancient superpower back then were able to travel to see, probably would record it into, I mean, of course, ancient time, no vlog and things like that. But it was noted and kind of shared as one of the best sceneries in China in terms of mountain ranges. It's not just singular, right? So Taishan is this mountain range that's pretty close to the center, the core of China geographically, right? If we're talking about center of mass, it's kind of close to the core and give you the sense of weight. And so when we say 重于泰山, it means heavier than that core of mass compared in this piece of land. So that's a high bar. And this particular line came from Mao. Mao was a part-time, I guess, poet. And believe it or not, his poetry got published, and it's one of the most popular books back then, I guess. Who knows that he was an author? And of course, it's a political buy too. Like, everybody had to buy his work. But okay, people that generation live under Mao era. Everybody can recite this. And this 重于泰山 came from the passage that's praising a Canadian doctor sacrificed his life in China. Okay, 青出于蓝青, and 蓝, this 青 kind of between blue-green color. It's a color of life. I talked about this before. That this color is a blend from the blue. So we're here talking about 出于 out, come out. Therefore, it's come out from the blue. So now we give you different scenarios to use this same character, but depends on the context. When we see 青出于蓝 means this color of 青 originated from 蓝 because it's a blend between blue and green. It's the color of life, right? And we have a second verse to it. 胜于蓝 is better than blue. So that's almost indirect saying or parallel or the analogy with color to compare different generations, later generations, because it's a combining of two sides of genes, right? Gene pools from two family trees, and supposedly you have better genes than your parents. And so you, even if you come out or build partially from this color, you're actually 胜, like you win out. You're better in some way than the older generation. So here is you at, and here is just showing a super crowded upward vertical living condition that give you the sense of at, like so many people are at this location. Thank you for your time. See you another day.